Previously on the greatest estate developer. Our hero shattered the corrupt council, survived impossible trials, unleashed the blueprint. The system crumbled, the enemy mobilized, and the city teeters on the brink of annihilation. And now the story continues. The legendary estate developer unleashes a thunderous charge. Vantara's towering cliffs shatter in a cascade of stone. The scene erupts with a blazing title that slams across the page. Yal, dressed in immaculate formal wear, stands beside his companions, each breath tight with anticipation. Master Lloyd steps forward, eyes locked on Yal, and asks, "Are we at a wedding?" Yal's confusion spikes. He never imagined a marriage ceremony awaiting them. All eyes swing to a lone child, twin horns spiraling from its crown, catching the light like forged steel.
Are you guys all dressed up? It's a wedding ceremony.
The strange horns on the child draw gasps from every onlooker. Cutting through the rising chatter, Yal slams his fist on the stone and barks. "Enough nonsense! Are we playing or not?" The horned girl lowers her gaze, uncertainty flickering across her face. The assembled nobles shift, the air thick with anticipation, as every eye waits for his command. In that breath, a vivid vision erupts. Towering mantis flowers bloom across a sunlit field, their petals shimmering with latent magic, potential raw material for their grand designs. "Stop talking nonsense, are you going to play or not?" The illustration bursts to life. Colossal mantis flowers sway in a radiant meadow, their petal-like limbs buzzing with a faint, magical hum. The weight of the crowd's stare makes Yal gasp. "I'm speechless. How do you all see me?" he declares. "I deserve the Demon King title. Even 10 copies of myself would fall before my will." He asserts that true authority stems from suitability, not raw power. His proclamation electrifies the assembly, amplifying their awe. Now Yal plots to marshal demon labor for Frontera County. "Just how did you all see me? You didst know I'm speechless." Artanis, I done deserve to be the Demon King. I done think I could defeat you even if I had 10 of me." Master Lloyd issues a brisk order. "Let's go, Javier, let's finish this swiftly." Javier replies, "Yes, Master Lloyd." Hearing Leela and Art's strategy, the demons decide to withdraw from the site, gathering their dark tools and departing. Their exit clears the construction zone, paving the way for Suho as Lloyd to deploy fresh labor on the Frontera County project. Lloyd clasps the Demon King in a firm embrace, his bone-reinforced forearms pressing against the king's chest with a chilling, unyielding grip. This gesture conveys both trust and the inauguration of the bone hug technique.
I embrace you, Demon King.
Stepping back, Lloyd's eyes widen as the aura around the Demon King flickers, resembling dragonfire.
Lloyd clamps his bone-reinforced forearms around the Demon King, unleashing the bone hug. A blast of chilling air erupts, shattering the illusion and exposing the feared ruler as Artanis V. Yal's shock ripples through the assembly as the promise of limitless demon labor collides with the unsettling truth. The warm-hearted myth they coveted now occupies the throne, shaking loyalty and trust to their core. The empty lot looms ominously, the bone hug humming with latent power, while the unseen fate of Frontera County teeters on a razor's edge. Will Artanis bend to Lloyd's grand design, or will he unleash a colder rebellion?
For those who want the full picture, not just the highlights, subscribe to Manwa with Hari.
Lloyd, the Demon King turned estate mogul, watches his empire wobble as the clock ticks down. He shouts that time must freeze, that construction must begin this instant. A senior advisor cuts in, warning that the year-long mountain venture cannot start without one vital condition. Lloyd snarls, cursing the holdup. Every lost second drains billions from his bloodline. The condition: an unstoppable workforce. Beyond the cliffs, a legion of demons gathers, its raw power poised for the test. Horns blare as a sea of demons crowds the mountain's base, each soldier clutching a crude tool. In the foreground, a giant hamster sniffs the air, eyes locked on the summit's magic. Lloyd unfurls a rolled blueprint, finger tracing the peak. A senior demon steps forward, laying out the duel's mechanics. Victory demands superiority in every contested arena. Strength, magic, strategy, resolve. He names the combat style Official Duel. Only a complete display of dominance can claim victory. Demons listen, noting the unforgiving criteria. Lloyd absorbs the details, realizing the bar he must clear. Mastery of all facets becomes his new objective to command the Legion.
You can only win if you show superiority in all areas. That is the way of combat for the demons.
Lloyd will now compare this ritual to familiar dispute methods. Lloyd smirks, likening the duel to his homeland's age-old rock-paper scissors disputes. The crowd watches the duel's micro-moves. Tiny muscle shifts betray the next strike. A demon scholar points out that breathing changes predict attacks. He turns to Kim Soho, asking if he has a guaranteed method to win this round. Kim Soho's answer could end the chaotic duel or deepen the mess. The question raises the stakes of the official duel.
Kim Soho, do you have a surefire way to win this time too?
The next command forces both warriors to prepare for the final clash. A horn sounds and a demon officer shouts, "Both warriors, ready yourselves." The arena quiets for a heartbeat, then Lloyd bellows the first move.
Lloyd bellows the opening cry, "Rock! Paper!" as the horn blares, then brandishes his blade like a royal decree, commanding every demon to carve massive stairways into the mountain. The crowd erupts, demons roaring with accusation and awe, as Lloyd teeters between triumphant True Demon King glory and the peril of a crumbling authority, threatened by distrust and looming rebellion. A demon officer reads 7 on a stone slab. The number flashes, the mountain trembles, and the fate of the stair-building contest, and Lloyd's claim to power, hangs on a razor-thin edge.
Don't make me ask twice. Subscribe to Manwa with Harry.
The future-seeing CCTV blazes with a dire warning. The Demon Queen will raise the county before nightfall. I, the greatest estate developer, lock eyes with the flickering screen. The live feed reveals every project I touch snapping back to its raw, untouched state. My blueprints crumble, contracts dissolve, the entire reconstruction effort rewinds. Every drop of sweat threatens to evaporate into nothing. Julian's family already feels the crushing weight of that looming reset. Julian, his mother Nora, his father Rex, and every resident of the county stand under a looming curse. The CCTV predicts misfortunes they never asked for. Artanis watches the same device, calling it a weather forecast for fate itself. Their lives teeter on a looping timeline. The next scene explode with frantic activity. Demonic engineers pilot floating cranes, swinging steel beams into place. Orc leaders rally hulking brutes to hoist massive stone blocks onto foundations. Giant hamster carts zoom across the site, dumping fresh bricks to eager masons. A spectral blueprint hovers above the half-finished railroad, dictating exact track placement. Sparks rain as magical forges temper metal rails. This coordinated chaos showcases the unprecedented speed the county gains from the mixed crew. Julian roars over the clamor, yelling all. To cue the workers, Artanis answers with a single cryptic note. A, confirming the temporal lock is primed. The crews freeze mid-motion, awaiting the freeze command. A demon swordmaster strides forward, blade gleaming. He boasts he can sing a song from the deepest hell, claiming no living monster can defeat him. His swagger lifts morale, but it also warns that a fierce opponent now leads the charge. The clash will test his claim when the first monster appears. Julian thanks Yong Yong for completing the courier run, then commands him to abandon construction and rush straight to the village. Meanwhile, Artanis, the former demon queen, files a report confirming all of Suho's family members are safe for the next 24 hours, validating the temporary shelter's reliability. Their coordinated moves keep the county's key people out of danger while the rebuild presses on. Exhausted, Julian slumps against a half-built wall and admits he'll nap a little before the final push. The crew watches, knowing a brief rest could cost precious seconds. Still, the temporary pause may let them conserve strength for the final sprint once time resumes. Artanis glances at the frozen world, calculating how long the pause will last before the restoration phenomenon resets everything again.
I'll just sleep for a little.
When Julian awakens, the race against the restoration phenomenon reaches its climax.
Artanis lifts her hand, chanting, and time freezes around the half-built rail line, halting the impending restoration phenomenon. The crew now has a razor-thin window to finish demolition before the freeze deepens. Julian feels his heart pound as fatigue claws his limbs. Yet he drives the workers onward, fearing that even a brief rest could cost them the fragile chance to secure their village's future. With the magical freeze still humming, Javier races to disperse lingering mana, while Oscar's looming presence threatens to accelerate demolition, leaving the crew teetering between triumph and a catastrophic reset.
The next chapter drops soon. Don't be the last one to find out. Subscribe to Manwa with Harry.
The capital shatters. The empire of the greatest estate developer collapses in an instant. Suho, now living under the alias Lloyd Frontera, stands amid cracked streets, notebook clutched to his chest. His loyal, stout companion appears beside him, scanning the ruined horizon with wary eyes. A raging storm gathers, promising a wave of ice and tremors. Suho feels the weight of his family's legacy pressing down. He knows every second counts if he hopes to rescue the estate. The blizzard earthquake roars, forcing a frantic hunt for any shelter. Wind howls, snow piles like a living wall. Suho and his companion scramble to erect a makeshift camp, but Lady Hangul strides in, shaking her head. The master lifts his hands, chanting a guttural string of syllables. Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter. The cavern trembles as raw mana erupts from the surrounding stone. Sir Javier's mana flickers, unusually resistant, hinting at a deeper flaw. The luminous energy pools around the altar, ready to be siphoned. Their success now hinges on taming this volatile flow. He then points to the carved stone niche, directing Suho where to place his head. The master points to a carved stone niche, voice cutting through the howl. He orders Suho to lower his head into the exact spot, promising the Asrahan core technique will flood his veins. The ritual ignites, mana spiraling into Suho, sparking his engineering mind. Suho demands clarification, asking his counterpart if they truly understood his words or are merely pretending. He repeats the question, voice trembling with frustration. The repeated query shows his growing anxiety as the conversation stalls. The O sound signals a moment of oppressive silence, increasing pressure on both sides. Did you not understand me? Or are you acting like you do understand me? Oh, this confusion sets up the shocking proposal awaiting him. Suho acknowledges the lady's sharp intelligence and grasp of the situation, then reacts to her blunt marriage proposal. He questions how she can propose marriage so directly and wonders who she expects him to become.
Shadow lifts his hand, his voice booming across the cavern, forcing Suho, still bound within Lloyd's body, to face a raging earthquake and howling blizzard while Lady Hangul blocks his path, demanding repayment for the lost construction time. Suho trembles, fearing the marriage proposal is a trap. His desperate urge to see the lady clashes with rising panic, his identity slipping as his future crumbles beneath the relentless snow. A shadowy silhouette looms within the storm, intentions hidden, while Suho stares at Hangul's snarling promise of tenfold retribution, the ground rumbling louder beneath them.
The mountain, once a death trap, now roars under bulldozers. The greatest estate developer's banner flutters atop the summit. Javier's crew rolls in, machines tearing through trees and soil. Greed claws at the ancient climate that shields the peak. The mountain spirit watches, silent and angry. Surveyors nail a down flag into the sheer cliff, staking the first excavation line. Javier's engineers unfurl sprawling blueprints, tracing the inaugural cut. They dismiss the ancient runes carved into the stone. Each line drives them deeper toward the mountain's heart. The Guardian stirs, sensing the trespass. Progress can't outrun the mountain's will, booms the ancient Guardian stepping from the rock. I have endured these peaks for ages. The Guardian roars with derisive laughter, calling the humans feeble. Your bodies cannot stem this storm, it bellows. Snow whirls into a vortex, swallowing tools and shovels. The demon declares the blizzard untouchable by mortal craft. A chilling chant echoes, amplifying its taunt. The Guardian shouts a grim cheer, praising harsh training, then recounts how ancient demons once perished in the cold. It mourns the lost kin, their frost-kissed bodies turned to ice. The storm rages, a bitter echo of that forgotten sorrow. A royal guard questions whether their scheme can expel the demons. Javier steps forward, eyes ice cold, proclaiming he will confront the demon leader himself. The Guardian eyes the shattered cliff, counts the strikes, and asks, How many blows have you delivered? Its voice echoes across the frozen air, demanding a tally of assaults. This reveals the attacker's persistence and the Guardian's willingness to measure their effort.
5?
The Guardian accuses the intruders of disrupting its construction. The Guardian spots the human leader, likely Lloyd, and snarls, "You halt my building work, wretch. What magic do you wield?" It insists no mana should harm it. Stakes rise as the clash intensifies.
Are you disrupting my construction?
The Guardian warns, "Those who dare to threaten me will face an even greater threat." A mocking twinks follows, underscoring its cruel confidence. The warning signals harsher retaliation, raising the stakes for the developers.
Those who dare to threaten me will be faced with an even greater threat. Twinks.
Javier must decide how to counter this fury. The ancient Guardian demon bellows, "Nature, kneel before humanity." The developers freeze, hearing the demon's contempt. The forest trembles under the proclamation. This matters because the demon now openly challenges the humans' right to reshape the mountain. Javier readies his next move as the storm gathers.
The ancient mountain guardian erupts, declaring itself the summit itself, and unleashes a thunderous roar that forces the developers to brace for an unstoppable, merciless onslaught. Lloyd's confidence crumbles, fear rippling through the crew, leaving them teetering between desperate hope and the crushing weight of imminent annihilation. The Guardian's ominous promise of a greater threat looms, freezing the developers on the cliff's edge as unseen horrors stalk the horizon.
A huge secret is about to be uncovered. Hit subscribe on Manwa with Hari to be the first to know.
Mana drains. The estate's collapse looms, ready to devour the city. Chinese letter stands atop the shattered manor, blueprints clenched. He bears the title Greatest Estate Developer. Below, crowds gasp, fearing their homes. He scans broken walls, mind racing for a fix. A onlooker whispers, "Can he rise to Grandmaster?" The crowd holds its breath. A young knight lunges forward, eyes blazing. He whispers, "Could he be a Grandmaster?" While pointing at Chinese letter. The wind flutters the blueprints. He gasps, "Oh!" Doubt crackles around Chinese letter-S skill. The crowd murmurs, hope flickering. Frustration erupts. The knight shouts a desperate plea. The knight clenches fists, shouts, "Ugh." He rushes, attacker parries. "Ah, stop, hit elsewhere," he cries, voice cracking. A voice from the crowd sneers, calling the attackers total scumbags. The insult slices tension. Attacker laughs, ignores the jeer, turns to the construction plans. He proposes enhancing the mountain's natural resources for greater power. Suho, still in Lloyd's body, raises an eyebrow, weighing the offer. He sees a chance to boost the estate with spirit energy, yet fears the cost. The giant hamster stamps its foot, urging caution. The decision could accelerate the estate's rise or unleash uncontrolled forces.
They're total scumbags. Complete and utter scumbags.
Then why not enhance natural resources during construction? Attacker nods, ready to test the new plan. Attacker raises his hands, chants over the mountain's face. Javier leans forward, outlining the long-term payoff of turning the valley into a continental trade hub. He promises power, tourism, massive wealth once the market flourishes. He urges Suho to let the old nobles approve a modest building as a first step. Suho rolls his eyes, dismissively, PFT. He argues the plan is already ambitious enough without extra favors. Javier insists the small building will cement Suho's reputation and bring steady income. Workers in the background tighten tools, uncertain whom to follow. The debate stalls widening progress, funds tied up in argument. Both men know any delay could miss the trade route opening deadline. PFT.
Let me build a small building. The kingdom will gain wealth.
Suho shatters the demon prison, freeing bound spirits that surge through the mountain pass. A glowing three-glyph ignites on the track as the demon steel locomotive thunders into the valley, scattering stone and fire. Suho claims the coveted title of Pope, basking in fresh authority and wealth. Bella bears the burden of safeguarding the fledgling empire. The crew feels triumph mingled with the weight of looming sacrifice. Yet the council's full endorsement remains unsealed. Freed demons whisper threats beyond the pass. The Radiant Chen glyph hints at an ultimate secret. The valley's destiny teeters on a razor-thin edge.
Absolute cinema. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari and grab some popcorn.
Neon letters blaze. The greatest estate developer. A single line sketches a lone figure in a vaulted hall, golden robes shimmering on marble. He stands atop a raised platform, eyes locked on an empty throne, while a pallid heir lies on a dais, breath shallow. Above the air, the eye of summer hovers, its fire-bright pulse promising a new reign. A trembling courtier leans in, voice barely a whisper. Is the heir waking? A nervous courtier steps into the candlelight, voice barely a murmur. He watches the heir's ragged breath, hand trembling as he lifts it toward the pale face, praying for a flicker of life. The hall holds its breath, every eye straining for a sign. A wild shout bursts, its words broken and unintelligible. The speaker flails, pleading for aid as the hall descends into chaos. Attendants rush, clutching the eye to prevent it from toppling. Turmoil threatens to taint the rite, endangering the heir and breaking the kingdom's oath. In that instant, a cloaked figure steps forward, his aura hinting at a desperate remedy. The cloaked stranger steps into the center, bowing his head. Ex-Hanma, he murmurs, then leans close and whispers a single syllable, Oa, into the crowd. A faint magical pulse ripples, anchoring the eye of summer for a heartbeat. That brief lull grants the Highness a lifeline, letting the rite proceed past collapse. The mana gauge climbs, the needle landing on a new digit. The crystal's radiance swells, echoing the surge. The Highness's eyes flash with fresh vigor. The rite's power climbs, siphoning more ambient magic. Each rise signals the emergency rite nearing completion, keeping the eye of summer's transfer viable. The following scene reveals the crystal's core pulsing faster, a heartbeat of destiny. The crystal erupts in blinding white light. The Highness's trembling hand rises as the eye of summer levitates above his palm. The air shimmers, a faint aura blooming through the hall. Gasps ripple as the ancient rite materializes before them. Focus narrows on the glowing eye, a beacon of the ritual's progress. Word ripples through the hall, Magenta now reigns as the richest nation. The Highness proclaims this triumph, crediting the Eye of Summer's success. Merchants and nobles erupt in cheers, envisioning fresh trade arteries. Suho sees the wealth as a lifeline for his estate ventures and his family's salvation. Across the room, Park Hyun-woo watches, scheming to thwart Magenta's ascent. Tension spikes as his counterplan looms, threatening Suho's empire. Park's machinations compel Suho to wield his newfound influence. The knight, aura doubled, hoists the massive stone effortlessly. The crowd gasps. Kerr's eyes widen as he points, shouting that the warrior's strength rivals a dragon's. The Highness nods, confirming the skill's effect.
The Highness calls the Eye of Summer, inscribing the baptism of the Demon King onto the floor, then channels its authority skill into a knight, whose aura erupts, his strength and speed instantly doubling, a visible surge of power. Suho Kim watches his sigil blaze, feeling a surge of hope that could crown Magenta as the richest nation. Yet the dazzling power threatens to eclipse his resolve, forcing him to weigh glory against sacrifice as the glow intensifies. The red banner proclaims the 080th new snake year, yet the chamber trembles from an unfinished chant, foreshadowing the baptism's hidden cost. A force more perilous than any dragon, poised to endanger the kingdom.
Save hours of reading. Get the full story in minutes. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari.
One day build an empire or your soul burns. Lee Jun-woo, a cutthroat real estate tycoon, meets his end and awakens in the Magenta No Kingdom, where land is a miracle and magic dictates price. He flips corporate playbooks into sorcery, snapping up barren plots, erecting ironclad estates, reshaping the market overnight. Noble houses gasp, their centuries-old grip trembles. The kingdom's eyes lock onto his meteoric rise. Cut to the Veneto barbarians, storming a silent village. The camera pans over a wind-scarred Veneto hamlet, smoke curling from crude huts. Luna strides between timber walls, clutching a handful of vivid blue blossoms. She twists the petals into a radiant bouquet, lifts it, and flashes a hopeful grin. Talhak declares their blood traces back to warriors exiled beyond the Vantara peaks, a proud, bitter legacy. Hal bellows at the supply carriers, demanding the rations they claim as birthright, chanting wild, wooga, wooga. Tap, the claim to ancestry, fuels a coordinated raid on the village stores.
We're descendants of warriors that were exiled.
Porters, Hand over the rations that belongs to us, Wooga. Wooga. Tap.
The camera pans over a wind. The scarred Veneto hamlet fighters steel themselves to seize the food caches. Talhak roars that they gamble their lives to secure food for their tables, painting the raid as desperate survival. Hal snarls, dubbing themselves the ruthless, lawless warriors of these lands. Their declaration hardens a savage mindset, heralding open conflict. A Veneto warrior steps forward, bellowing, "We take the heirs head first." Villagers gasp, clutching children, fear clawing their throats. One onlooker stammers, "He looks terrifying." The threat raises the stakes. The noble family's future teeters on a single blade. The village trembles, edging toward immediate violence. The heir's safety now hangs by a thread as the warriors close in. Luna steps forward, eyes narrow, demanding why the invaders arrive brandishing swords. She pleads for peace, urging words over bloodshed. The villagers pause, hope flickering that her appeal might spare them. Her question matters, offering a fragile chance to avoid needless slaughter. Luna sighs, urging they release the captive, fearing he will spark further trouble if left unchecked. She admits she cannot rely on raw strength to solve problems, reflecting her pacifist stance. A villager proposes detaining him, noting even that uses violence. The debate underscores the scarcity of peaceful options and raises the stakes of potential bloodshed. Sigh, let him go. He'll cause trouble. Detaining him still uses violence. Hal's reaction to Luna's suggestion will shape the coming battle. The villagers gather around a flickering fire, a hopeful smile spreading across one man's face. He declares the meeting promising, noting the queen worries about soaring initial costs.
Hal lifts his blade skyward, bellowing, "Charge!" The Veneto warriors surge forward, steel flashing as they close on the trembling village. Meanwhile, the council debates a magical aid that could slash construction costs, their voices rising against the clash. The battlefield erupts, pitting raw aggression against whispered hope. Luna feels her pacifist ideals shatter as Hal's brutal demand threatens her people's safety. While villagers teeter between surrender and desperate hope for cheaper aid. The council hesitates, villagers stare, and the invaders' horns catch the dying light, leaving the fate of the village and the promised magical bargain hanging in a trembling silence.
This channel exists because of fans like you. Subscribe to Manwa with Harry and keep it going.
The empire of the greatest estate developer teeters on the backs of children who could shatter his iron towers. Inside Lloyd Frontera's body, Suho Kim scans the shattered manor, the weight of his family's debt looming like a mountain. His engineering mind ignites a nighttime rescue must be forged. The tactician confesses their first strike blazed too bright. Wills nods, the memory of the botched raid on the rival camp still searing his mind. They sense the enemy will anticipate any copycat. The misstep compels a fresh plan before nightfall. They begin sketching a silent ambush. The squad chooses a midnight strike. The warrior's companion whispers that the rule holds only with a full belly. Their rations dwindle, hunger gnawing at resolve. The team debates the Veneto's carriage offer, fearing the price will bleed them dry. A faint magical aura shivers, suggesting concealed power in the darkness.
That only applies when we're not starving.
A glowing rune flares, pulsing with latent energy just before the charge. A radiant rune ignites, the glyph Chinese letter humming with uncanny power. Suho roars a rally, urging the squad toward the boar. They surge forward, weapons gleaming as night air crackles with magic. The imminent clash looms as the Demon King's gaze seems to stir. Suho passes the horse carriage to the Veneto warrior, sealing the deal. The warrior grins, wishing them a feast with family that night, yet his sarcasm lingers. The trade secures transport for the looming hunt, though his pride later rebuffs any charity. All right, the horse carriage is now yours.
Have a good feast with your family tonight. Ha ha ha.
The tribe's rigid honor still thwarts smooth cooperation. The Veneto warrior mutters that the carriage will feed his wife and lunch, yet his warrior pride bars any charity. He admits his code forbids accepting gifts, heightening tension as the group craves his aid. He vows to commence the hunt at dawn. A calm voice whispers, "Hey," then sighs with relief that Lloyd is no longer constantly wounded. The squad feels a fleeting comfort amid relentless peril. The exchange hints at budding trust, even as looming threats persist. Hey.
I'm relieved.
Lloyd slams a gleaming financial partner contract onto the market table, sealing an instant cash infusion that trades the group's future harvest for a slice of the merchant's concealed profits. The crew exhales relief as fresh meat fuels their trek, yet the looming debt presses heavy on Bella's shoulders, threatening the fragile trust they forged amid relentless peril. A shadowy figure lurks at the market's edge, his magical promise lingering, while the contract's hidden clauses murmur of a price that could shatter their newfound stability.
Loan is sealed, 3 days until the estate collapses. The splash page blazes the greatest estate developer, with a tiny caption, "Red Life," whispering a new fate. Cut to a cramped tavern. Lloyd Frontera, a lazy noble, slouches over a mug, eyes half closed. A servant slides a thick parchment-stamped loan contract onto the table. Lloyd squints, his mind fogged by ale, and feels the cold iron of a looming debt. That single sheet ignites a desperate gamble to rescue his family's fortunes. The countdown begins. Lloyd fumbles over the ink-filled pages, admitting he can't decipher the legal jargon. A nearby clerk leans in, voice booming as he reads the preamble aloud. A gruff voice cuts through the crowd, shouting cap. The village guard warns that the loan terms are being stretched. Dolph frowns, retorting that Lloyd has crossed a line by promising more than the loan covers. Lloyd raises his hand, trying to calm the tension, but the guard repeats the warning. The clerk steps in, reminding everyone that the contract is strict and penalties severe. Dolph insists any misuse will trigger the double interest clause. Lloyd swallows his pride, acknowledging the guard's concern. The argument forces the group to reconsider their spending plan, lest they ruin the village's financial future.
You've really crossed a line.
We'll stay within the contract. Lloyd stares at the contract, his hand trembling. He mutters a low, seriously, as the enormity of the amount sinks in. The villagers listen, their faces turning pale. Without that gold, their homes will crumble and the family will lose the estate. The moment pushes Lloyd to consider using his engineering tricks immediately. Seriously, Lloyd declares, "I will not let anyone take my slave away," defending his personal bond. A villager urges him to hurry, sensing the time limit pressing. Their exchange shows personal stakes amid the larger financial deadline. The insistence to move quickly underscores the 3-day window to repay Dolph. "I won't let anyone take my slave away."
Hurry.
The clock ticks as the village rushes to finish the contract.
Dolph bellows, rallying the villagers as Lloyd steps forward, demanding a massive loan to rebuild the village, promising gold repayment, and igniting a fierce power struggle in the hall. Lloyd risks losing his hard-won reputation and the slave he cherishes, while Dolph risks his authority, and the villagers teeter between hope for a restored home and the dread of deeper exploitation. With a ticking deadline looming, Dolph eyes Lloyd's bold request. The villagers hold their breath, and the fate of the slave hangs in the balance, promising a showdown that could shatter the fragile peace.